Hi everybody, Jennifer Blevins-Smith here with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today we're going to discuss purchasing IT hardware. This is a topic that hits hard to the pocketbook, if you will. Purchasing all of the hardware needed for all of the technology requirements in your office is quite an expense, and unfortunately a lot of people underestimate this expense when they're putting their budget and pro forma together. The other thing is sometimes they purchase things like computers, such as laptops, that might not work very well once their EHR system is running on them. It is really important before you purchase any kind of computers or laptops that you find an IT specialist so that they can communicate with your EHR representatives or read through the requirements for operating systems for your EHR that you have chosen. I have seen so many times that these hardware items are purchased before reviewing any of these requirements, minimum requirements, keep in mind, and then they try running the EHR and it bogs down the computer. And the staff complain and it slows down the workflows and the efficiencies. Sometimes it freezes up and delays things, and it's just really frustrating for everyone. You put out a ton of money for this, hoping it would work, and then you're not being able to get as much work out of your staff, and your staff is frustrated. It's not a good idea for anyone. Remember that when the EHR gives you these requirements, it's the minimum requirements. It doesn't mean that you should probably buy the minimum requirements. I would suggest that you go above that, and I'm sure an IT person would suggest that as well, because then it leaves room for growing and new updates and requirements that maybe the EHR will have in the future. Maybe you can talk to your IT specialist and purchase something that will be easy to upgrade in the future, and that would be cheaper. It's good to have an IT person involved when you purchase your hardware, because not only do they know better what is a good deal and what you should be purchasing as far as details, but they'll also maybe have some ideas of places where it will be less expensive, or they know how to get refurbished that they can fix up and make sure they're working properly so you can save some money there. And maybe they have a corporate account somewhere where you can save money if you buy in bulk or just by using their account. Who knows? It's definitely a place worth having someone who is an expert in this position to help you. Because it's so expensive, saving money anywhere is always a good idea, especially if you have someone involved who can ensure that saving the money in that place is worth it and not going to put you in a different position that's going to cause frustration or cost more money down the line. Like, you might be able to go onto eBay and order some laptops, but if they're not the right specs that you need, or they're just going to break down, or you don't know how to ensure that it's a certified refurbishment, then you could be just throwing money out the window. The other thing you want to look at when you're buying hardware, it's not just computers, it's also any kind of backup system that you need, or power sources that you need if the power were to go out. It involves any kind of accessories that go with the computer and your EHR system, such as scanners or electronic signature tablets, or maybe some tablets that you're going to take into the rooms for patients to review things and sign. Or maybe it has to do with equipment such as spirometries or EKGs, or anything that can be compatible with your EHR system so the information goes into the system without having to print off the information or download it and upload it into the system. Maybe it's not worth the extra money to buy the compatible devices because the cost of the device itself is so high and you won't save it by the efficiencies, but maybe you will. If you have to print a report every time, you have to consider the time it takes of your staff, because that's money, and also the materials like the paper and the ink and the printer that you would have to purchase in order to do that, and then have it scanned into the system so it can go to the EHR. Printers are another big thing. A lot of people like to buy home printers, scanners, faxes, but those burn out so fast. And even though it's expensive, it's nice to put the money towards getting at least a small business, not home business, but small business printer multifunction machine. There are some big differences, and even though it seems like you're saving money at the beginning, you're going to be putting more money out in the long run, and you're not going to save anything in the big picture. The other thing is that you want to make sure that your workflows that you have established and your expectations for your staff and the way you want to run your office are congruent and coincide with the hardware that you've purchased for them to do their job. And you also want to make sure you're giving them the proper tools to do their job. Don't set them up for failure. It is expensive, and it is something that kind of hits you in the gut really hard when you see how much these things cost and it all adds up. But you have to think about how it affects your whole business, how it affects patients, how it affects your staff, how it affects yourself. You also want to make sure that any computers that you're buying for your administrative staff, your billing staff, yourself, that not just being able to run the EHR, but other things at the same time, like having multiple web browser windows open to look up things, or making sure that you can run different software for like bookkeeping, or what's something else? I can't think of it at the moment, but there's going to be other things that your administrative team will need that's different than your staff. Make sure you do your homework as well to make sure that it is a necessary thing you need to open your business, or if it's something that maybe you can go without for a little while with the anticipation and the budgeting in a few months to purchase, and just communicate that with your staff and let them know, like, we know this isn't ideal, this is the way we're going to do it for right now, but my goal is within 3 months that we'll be able to buy this and it will help you in this way. Always have a plan and communicate that plan so that staff knows that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you do identify that it is kind of a slower process or a setback. Make sure that you're able to have the range extenders or hubs in your office so that there aren't any dead spots when staff are trying to work in the exam rooms or wherever their workstations are and not having lagging because they don't have very good speed or connection with your network. The IT specialist will be able to help you with this, and I did a video about how to find an IT specialist, especially for healthcare, so make sure you check out that video. The whole thing behind this video is just realizing that it is a huge expense to buy the hardware necessary to run your practice, but also that you should bring someone in who knows what they're talking about, because they will be able to help you the best so you don't waste any money, and also make sure that what is purchased is going to be able to work for you for a long time instead of just a year or two and then be outdated or too slow and you're going to have to replace it. I hope this helps. Smash the thumbs up button if today's video was helpful or informative. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much, you guys. I hope that you're enjoying the start of spring, and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.